Hello, hello. Good evening. Good evening. Sorry, guys, for the delay. Okay. Good evening. Welcome to one live podcast. This is a podcast that we normally do every Friday. Okay. If you look at the screen, you notice the topic that we're going to discuss this evening: how to deal with relationship trauma. And also in our midst, we have a brother that just want to join us tonight. He got in.
That's all. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. We have this intriguing topic that we want to discuss. We want to talk about this evening, all about relationship trauma. Okay. And then if you look at it this way, relationship trauma can have a profound effect on a lot of people, a lot of profound impact in a lot of people's lives. That most times you're still wondering why some people would find it difficult to move on, especially they are afraid of going into a relationship, something like that. So, and then, for example, there's this lady, her name is Stella. I was discussing with her, like I saw this lady. She doesn't have any boyfriend. She's not in a relationship, and I was intrigued. I was like, why are you not in a relationship? And she was like, my last 3 relationships were not okay. I didn't find it. The experiences were unforgiving. So she was emotional when she was trying to explain it to me. You understand? She said to me her last 3 relationships, she didn't find it good. It wasn't good for her as well. You understand? So if any man, most of the men that she came across with, she didn't have a good experience with them. And that makes her to become very terrified of men. So when I asked her to elaborate a little bit, she was like, she said that what happened shaped the way she sees relationships. Understand? But she was like, she couldn't elaborate herself. She couldn't like explain everything properly. Understand? So, and that's what happening to some people. Understand? And I remember sometime last ago, there's this other lady as well I was talking with, and then she said that she's been attracting all the people that always normally come to her on her ways. Most of them are like toxic men. So she believed that that's how relationship was designed to be until she met her recent boyfriend, the one she's dating at the moment. And because of the experiences that she had with the other people, you know, this one that she's dating now is a gentle, according to her, she says the gentleman. And then the way this guy treats her and everything, treat her like a queen and all that. But because of the previous experiences that she had, she's afraid that this man will change. You know, she can turn to become
the thing about
understand. So that's why you can see that she's afraid of getting into a relationship, and that is why some of the ladies, most of them, you see that they're not going because of the trauma they had in a relationship.
I agree with you on that. And the thing about relationship trauma is that it is like a secret monster that, if not addressed, could shape the lens through which ladies are able to attract men. I've during my years of having to talk to a few people, had I've had to speak to a lot of people that have attracted the same kind of men through their lives. And when relationship trauma goes on without being addressed, it could live with a person for life. So that's why it's very important that we talk about this today, and viewers that would be listening to what our podcast today would tend to address this secret monster that could prevent people from attracting and enjoying long-lasting loving relationship. Because when you, for example, if you've had if a lady has had experience of a partner that has been cheating consistently, it becomes difficult for her to trust men in the future. And if this monster is not addressed, it becomes difficult for her to trust men all her life. And sometimes when certain women go into marriages without healing from their past relationship trauma, they get to pass on this aggression to their children. So this is what makes today's topic quite rich and beneficial to the audience, because we'll be looking at several things today. We'll be looking into how it's more like a holistic approach into how this thing could define a person's journey if it has not been addressed properly. So you talked about the real meaning of this relationship. In your own words, what would you say is the actual meaning of relationship trauma in general? I mean, as I remember the first time you did mention it to me, because I thought, what actually is this? I mean, because we've had relationship trauma, what actually is this relationship trauma?
I think the only way I can maybe define it, or where I can express it, is that relationship trauma is those, the wounds, emotional wounds, or maybe the distress people experience in the context of a relationship. You understand? So most of the traumas, for example, someone might be in a relationship with a man or a woman. It doesn't matter which one you are in a relationship. So, but that relationship is experiencing a lot of toxic nature of the relationship. By maybe the other person might be aggressive, might be like physically abusing the other person all the time. It can be emotional wounds. Maybe for example, they're using emotional, they're torturing them emotionally. You should understand. It might be like betrayal, abandonment. All of that is just coming to that relationship, and you see that like what you said, if they didn't heal and they get into a relationship, they will carry that trauma because that's experience that is already experienced, or that's the way they portray a relationship. They would think that the other person they're getting into a relationship with will still be
the same.
And be the same.
In addition to what you've said, when we talk about trauma, now when we talk about trauma, according to my knowledge, is like a deeper effect of hurt. Like when you say I've been traumatized by an incident, it just means that this incident left a bit of a lasting impact. It's an experience that, when I say I'm traumatized by an incident, it means that trauma is it's more like hurt that left, would I say, a bruise, emotional bruise, or would I say, I'm trying to look for the right words to get the audience to resonate with it. It's not like, let's say when someone betrayed you, let's say a partner lied, or a partner was cheating and lied, but then when you've gone through a traumatic experience, it's more like it left. For example, I was reading the story of this lady that was raped when she was young. So when she went into a relationship, she had this man that had this fetish. So during that conversation, she told this man that she was molested, and because the man had this fetish of forceful intimacy, so the man said he wished he was the one that molested her. So to the lady, this was the rape that she had experienced when she was young was a traumatic experience.
Mhm,
But then because she lived with that,
mhm,
because because it was an experience that wasn't addressed, it became part of her journey, and she attracted a man that was, yeah. I remember I was talking to this my cousin that confided in me personally, confidently, that he was sexually molested when he was young. So when he went into marriages, it became difficult for him to stay faithful to one woman because he's now been turned to a sexual addict.
okay.
So he now had this fetish of, yeah, sleeping with multiple women.
Just how he thinks maybe that's the way
Yeah, that's
supposed to
honestly,
be. You
yeah.
understand? So that's the
Mm,
way he sees relationship, and then he
yeah,
will take that trauma and take that experience into
yeah,
his relationship. You understand that
yeah.
sense? Yeah, I get
So
what you say.
the thing about trauma, Maurice, is that sometimes it's been overlooked, but then it could literally shape. Sometimes it could go as far as shaping someone's sexuality.
Mm,
There are some ladies that, because of the experience they've had with men in their life, they just chose not to date men. They chose to date women. So this is the beauty of today's topic, because talking about relationship trauma, we're just going to address this monster in the room. Yeah, how can we move on? Relationship trauma, relationship, or what are the effects of these? And
but what you have,
mm,
first of all, you have to understand something.
mm-hmm,
When you're talking about what we're talking about, relationship trauma,
mm-hmm,
there are a lot of signs
mm-hmm,
that people might not know
mm-hmm,
that has to relate to the trauma
mm-hmm.
they already had in
Yeah,
relationship. Most times, the trauma might not come from the relationship.
mm-hmm,
It might not come from a relationship.
mm-hmm,
It might come from the actual, maybe
mm-hmm,
the experience they had in
past experience. Yeah,
when they have, even sometimes they have
mm-hmm.
experience they had
They were
when they
very
are
young.
led to be
Yeah,
very young.
mm-hmm,
Some of them might be abused
mm-hmm,
by their parents.
mm-hmm,
Some of them might be abused
mm-hmm.
by even their family members, like
Yeah,
guardians or something like that. So they will carry those trauma
yeah,
and get into a relationship. And when they get into a relationship, because they've not healed
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
from
mm-hmm,
those
mm-hmm.
their life
Yeah,
trauma, now they bring that into a relationship, and they find out that it's going to be difficult for whoever they're in relationship with to deal with
yeah,
that,
to deal with that. And
because they have to heal
mm-hmm,
first
mm-hmm,
in order for them to experience what relationship is all
yeah,
about. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
So when you're
mm-hmm,
talking about that, you have to know the signs
mm-hmm,
and the symptoms,
mm-hmm,
which if you can see that we have fear,
mm-hmm,
we have that feeling of fear, anxiety.
mm-hmm,
You can see depression is there as well. You understand? And
mm-hmm,
when you come out talk about depression, you see depression about their past,
mm-hmm. Past experiences. Yeah,
even their current relationship is there. So
mm-hmm,
understand they have to deal with that,
mm-hmm,
and sometimes they find it difficult to deal
mm-hmm,
with establishing,
mm-hmm.
maybe accepting that they have a
Yeah,
issue with them,
mm,
that they have to deal
mm,
with. Yeah, I don't know what sometimes they call it the devil inside of them.
mm.
You understand? First, they have to heal with that, but some people they don't really.
Yeah,
If you tell them that they need to heal, they have
yeah,
to sort out. They don't.
yeah.
They don't want to listen.
I do agree with you on that. I kind of want to draw from a personal experience. I remember when I was a lot younger, I mean, one of the roles, the jobs I did in the past, I remember I was racially discriminated by the manager I had at the time. So I remember after having that experience, I was a very good employee, but the manager was very, very racist. I remember after that experience, my next I did work for two extra companies before I stopped. I remember that the two companies I worked for, I was very mean to my managers. I remember the last company I worked before I resigned. I remember the last day the manager was leaving, so I had to tell her, I had to apologize for how I treated her, and I told her that the reason I was mean was because of the experience I had several years by the previous manager that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of drawing in that experience to coming into relationships.
Yeah, because the experience that you had
mm,
with your previous manager,
mhm,
now you trying now to have a shield
Yeah,
to
a kind of wall. Yeah,
to protect yourself.
yeah,
Do you understand? Because you had that trauma
yeah.
and you don't want to have that experience
Again, yeah, and
So now you're trying to protect yourself
yeah,
from these people.
yeah.
But they might be good.
Yeah, because the actual manager was very good.
Yeah.
I do remember. I do know this lady that is always talking about relationships on social media. She's always talking about how her husband physically she was a victim of domestic violence. So she talked about how that was the kind of marriage that she had, and it's over 10 years she hasn't found another man. So yeah, the thing is that sometimes some ladies worry why they've not been able to find men. They've not been able to get into relationships.
It's not that men are not coming.
Yeah,
they are coming
sometimes.
On their way.
Yeah,
cannot just that.
Yeah, and then when ladies have that phrase, "Men are scum." When you've had, from my experience, all the ladies that have that that phrase, how would I say, it's that slogan, "Men are scum," end up attracting just scum men.
Scum men, because
and then
experiences. Still bringing those kind of people on.
And sometimes when you don't really take time to diagnose this monster in the room and look at how to address this monster, you become a victim of the situation. And that's the essence of today's the wealth of today's topic, because we're talking about the different, how to actually deal with this monster, because it's a silent killer. Because you don't really enjoy life to the fullest, because you become a victim of your past experience.
Yeah, okay, no, I understand that, but let's just let's talk to the truth. Okay, guys, apparently we, like you guys know, we're talking about how to deal with relationship
traumas,
relationship trauma, and then usually we got our, what we call it, phone calls and all that to join. If
today you
can just ask a question. You can just send a question to the comment that we can read them out, or if you just want to call to let us know what you just want to talk about. There's the number to call. It's going to be on the screen now. So that's the number to call. Okay, it's a WhatsApp number. You call this number +44 744 982 3876. It's a WhatsApp number. All right, or you can just put on the comment section now.
Feel free to drop your comments. We'll be reading everything.
The questions.
We'll read all your comments.
Okay, so like now this is not
someone is driving,
yes, one is what I'm trying to let you know, understand it. Man, what you are saying about the experiences some ladies they normally have, and the slogan that all men are scum and all that, you say that. But what they forget to understand is most times, some of them, they have that problem. They have that trauma inside of them. And they find it's like a kid that when he was a little, you always put a horror movie for them. Every time they watch horror movies. And then they grow with that fear of
condition,
witches and all that in their mind. They believe that ghosts are everywhere. Understand? So you can see that some of them, when they want to go to sleep, they will not off the light. They always put the light on to sleep because they're afraid. It's just in their mentality. Understand? Because it's like programmed.
I do agree with you on that, because I remember when I was a lot younger, it was quite difficult for me to stay at home alone, because then I do imagine that spirits.
Do you understand? Ghost or somebody will just come in to hurt you, understand, because of the.
And then you kind of feel as if those things have powers, whereas they don't actually.
It's the same way. Some people, they already like experiences that they had, the kind of men that they've
had in the past.
Deal with. They have that program. It's just like in their head. They believe that all men are the same.
And then you know this issue of BDSM in the bedroom, and sometimes some ladies, and I've heard some ladies say that they get turned on when their man beats them. So sometimes when you look at the real reason why this is happening, I mean, I know this. I've read the story of this lady that said if intimate moments with her man isn't violent, she's not turned on. And sometimes, if you check the story, she may have been raped in the past, and
Yeah,
that trauma has formed the lens through which,
she
she's
perceived.
seeing
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
life.
she perceived a
Yeah.
relationship, and she see life. She see men.
Mm.
Understand? So if you if you're the gentle one, or gentle kind of
You become boring.
you
Yeah.
become boring, and she
Yeah.
don't like labor you because they've been experienced.
For example, if you look at a lot of black, if you, today's conversation isn't just, we're going to talk about the men, but today's conversation we're going to have a little bit of kind of mix it both. And sometimes if you look at, I've seen a few ladies that have had multiple children from different men, and then sometimes it's not that this ladies, some of them really wanted to be married, some of them wanted to stay in relationships, but then because of the kind of men that they've attracted, you just end up seeing that there is a pattern. They're attracting the same kind of men in different bodies. Yeah, the same men that start off as good, but then as a relationship start progressing, that kind of men would show the same pattern the previous one has shown. Is because sometimes these traumas, because they're not treated, they kind of become like an energy that goes with you, and it just defines the kind of people you attract in your life. Because this person is traumatized and they're living in that constant fear, their life journey is coming from a place of fear. So the energy that they release to the universe is from a place of fear. So the kind of men they attract are usually men that tend to exhibit the same pattern of behavior. And sometimes that's just what forms. That's why some ladies just tend to attract fuckboys. Yeah, they want to get good men. They come, I'm ending this relationship, but then the next man is going to be good. But then the next man tend to be the same kind of man.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, and sometimes all these things are signs of unreleased trauma that hasn't been addressed.
It has been addressed. They have not. The issue, like I said at the beginning, I said that the problem is now having a trauma. The problem is noticing or believing that you have problem. You have an issue to deal with.
Do you think everyone has a trauma?
Everyone has a trauma.
Yeah.
It depends on how you handle your trauma.
Okay.
It depends on how you see that. Because some people trauma they have might be they handle it positively.
Yeah, they handle it positively. Yeah.
Some is just negative the way they see it, and then they continue.
Yeah, but then,
with that pattern. And
most people don't even know they're working around with trauma.
That's what I'm saying. Most of them they don't know.
Yeah, that's really my trauma made me difficult to be an employee. Is that if I go into a company, the first person I want to attack is my manager, because I've had a bad experience in the past. So I don't see managers as good people. So that trauma, that's from a work relationship. I mean, probably personal relationships probably has its own topic here, then maybe subsequent episodes. But then, that trauma has shaped, it has made it very difficult for me to actually go into a job and keep an actual job, because I see my managers as beasts, even though they may be actual good people. So I just said, oh no, I just need to go out and do something else.
I understand that. What you have to get, what you should understand is when you have a trauma, especially in a relationship, there are things that you have to notice. Sometimes, some of them they find it difficult to establish boundaries. Establish boundaries. What I mean by establishing boundaries, they cannot say no. Do you understand what I mean? They are easily influenced by their friends.
Yeah, do you
understand what I mean?
Yeah,
they are easily influenced by their friends, because they will try to please. They will try to please people around them. In order to just to show something that they are not. You know what I mean? Because of that trauma, they just want to portray themselves as good. When they portray themselves as good people, you find out that if you're in a relationship, the other person will take advantage of that. and capitalize on that
Yeah.
and use it against them.
Yeah.
And that's why you see that most of them, you see, they, like you said, they have pattern
Mm-hmm.
and they attract
Different, same kind of.
same kind of
You
pattern.
know, there's some
That's what it
lady.
comes.
You know, there's some ladies I know that only go after men that probably don't have a job. I know. I was reading the story of this woman that talked about how she met this guy, didn't have a job, didn't have a car, so she was paying house rent and feeding this guy till when this guy actually got on his feet and the guy left. And the same kind of men that she has been attracting has been men that have problems that she needs to solve.
She needs to solve because
So,
she see herself like, you know, she,
like Jesus, yeah.
no, like Jesus. No. What I'm saying that because she's a good lady. Do you understand what I'm saying? But because of maybe the experience she had when she was like, you know, starting up with
Yeah,
relationship,
because
now she want to like, do you understand what I mean? She wants to like, I don't know. She want
also one of the things that could cause that is that sometimes when someone don't believe that they're good enough to get a person that is whole, because you know, before you go into a relationship as a person, you need to get a person that is whole. I mean, if you're working, you need someone that is working. If you have money, you need someone that has money, or someone that is financially okay. I mean, looking at, men and women. I mean, if you're a man and you're financially okay, I mean, some men only go. I mean, you didn't see this amongst African men. They just look for ladies that they're going to help, and for some women, they're looking for men that's men that don't have it all sorted out. And the thing is that they just have this in-depth belief that the moment they show all this love to this man, that this man is going to return the favor. I was having this conversation with my brother, and we were talking about this lady that was dating this guy that didn't have a job, and this guy finally got a job and left. So I was asking my brother why, and my brother told me that men's taste change. But then my question was, why didn't his taste change when he didn't have a job? His taste only changed the moment
it's not that the taste changed. The issue is that sometimes the guy didn't want to go, he didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Or the person in that relationship, the lady might be showing a sign of entitlement. I did this for you. No. I'm just giving you for example. Sometimes, what I understand is that some men, once they are in a relationship with most of them, there are three kinds, maybe categories. There are some of them that they are in that relationship because they are just using you as a stepping stone. Right?
Okay.
So if you meet that kind of man, they're using you as a stepping stone. He's not in a relationship with you because he's in love with you or he likes you or something. He just because
using
now
you.
He needs a place to stay. He needs to take care of himself because you're taking care of everything, paying the bills and everything, so he can establish himself. And they're using you as a stepping stone. Once they establish themselves,
they leave. Yeah, leave. And
there are the second set of men that you can say that as well. Some of them those ones that they are in that relationship. Probably maybe when they met the lady, they were okay. They were working, but along the line they lost their job.
Yeah, they lost their job, and
so now they lost their job. The lady is taking care of everything. She's taking that. You know how it is, women. It's not every woman. Some women they find it difficult to sustain when they are the ones taking care of a man.
Yeah,
you see that the
women are not born providers.
Okay, the attitude will change. And once the attitude changes, as men, you see that they find it difficult. They cannot stay when they are being abused or being disrespected and all sometimes. So once they get their feedback, they're gone. Do you know what I mean? They just leave. Then she gonna turn around and say, but I help this person.
But then that's like
there's another person, the third category. There's kind of men that they understand that things change. They're just like, it's just a a circumstance. They feel that is a circumstance. That at the end of the day, once they get on their feet, they will never leave that woman.
Yeah, but
they will take care of the woman and let them understand. But it depends on the kind of person.
But then the thing is, I would like to have your opinion on this. To me, I think the average percentage of men that stay in relationships after they've been helped is like less than 10%. I don't know what you think of that.
No. What I'm trying to let you understand is it's not. Sometimes it's not in the men's hands to stay. If the environment is conducive, what I mean by conducive is there are things men value so much. A man values respect,
honor.
A man values when he is appreciated. You see those two things? Appreciated, respect. Those two, they don't play with it. No, it doesn't matter if you say a 1-year-old kid, once he's a boy, watch out how they behave. You see that they cannot relate it when you are talking to them. That's the way you talk to them. They get angry because they're boys. They will do things, continuously doing things. If you don't appreciate, what I mean by appreciate, you done well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Even if it's not working, it has nothing to do. It's just moving trash, taking the bins out, arranging the bed, doing some 1 or 2 things, just minor things that yes, maybe it's nothing. They cook, maybe something like that. Appreciate that little things that they do.
The little effort, yeah.
But don't use it because you are the one
providing. Yeah.
Then it's taking that. No matter what, even if that man is a pastor, they might pretend. Once they get on their feet, they're gone. Do you understand what I mean? They're gone. I think we're gonna call someone. They're gonna call to like put it there. Yeah, that's it. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what you're gonna see. Hello, welcome. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. I can hear you loud and clear. Go on.
Okay, so I want to make a little contribution.
Okay.
On how one manage the trauma or deal with your trauma. Trauma is a very big challenge one can have, understand? And trauma, whenever you go into a trauma or having a difficulties of your own experiences or what happened to you, it's hard for one to adjust. But in this case now, how I see one can manage it is, one, maybe in that thing that is in any pressing problem that you are facing, understand, you need somebody that you really trust. You seek a support from your person you trust or your best friend that you can on, understand, because that thing is inborn. That trauma, that you are
internal,
going through, is disturbing you. Maybe you don't have confidence in anybody to relieve. Whenever you relate that experiences or that problem, it's like you have a little relief, understand? So you sit on your best friend, person you confide on, that when you relate that thing that is disturbing you, one or two advice or word the person will give you, it will be a relief somehow. Another thing, you work on emotion. All these things, that personal emotion, what you feel or what you carry, understand? So when you work on your emotion, that you see that you create that boundary on you, that all these things will not maybe disturb you again. Like your colleague there was saying, that his own trauma maybe what you heard about your manager in your working place.
Yeah.
Whenever you see any manager, you be scared or you don't want to. If you set that boundary, maybe manager is the trauma I have now. You set a boundary how to face him or how to deal with him. Then you make it in a way that it will not disturb you internally. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
If you can create such thing within you, you see that you'll be free with it. And another thing, you work on yourself, practice on yourself, believe on yourself. Understand? Believe in yourself that whatever challenges or whatever you see, that you will not allow that thing to over your joy or your present score.
Okay.
Thank
I don't
you.
know whether I make
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, you made a lot of sense.
You made a
Yeah.
lot. Made a lot of
You
sense.
did mention about talking to friends, and it's
Yeah.
quite strange. A lot of men don't really talk about the need for therapy,
No, they don't really. They don't really
especially
accept. Most
African
times, they
men.
don't accept that they have issues or they have
Yeah, I
problems to
think
deal with.
the issue of therapy is
Yeah, it's
quite
very, very
a
important.
new thing for African men, because then they don't see it as a thing men should actually do.
That's the problem. You know, in anything, whenever if you are good or bad, there is a something that you believe or your best friend that you can, whenever you share your secrets or your affairs with, one or two things the person will relate or you have a relief.
Yeah.
Understand? You said Africans that they don't work on those things. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a great submission. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. There's a question. Someone asked a question there. Because I've just left the lady on the screen there. Say the lady Grace Line said, "Good evening. I'm enjoying the topic tonight, and I have a very important question. Is it only ladies that are traumatized in a relationship? Guys also do, right? Those
guys absolutely get traumatized.
How do they heal? How do they?
Now the thing about guys is that men are I don't know. It's kind of this cliche. Men are not to show emotions. It's difficult, especially for black men. I mean, times where you see a man cry or a man being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I mean, he asks a very important question. Are men traumatized? Because we tend to hear lots more about from the ladies. The men don't actually show
their
that
emotions.
side, and it's really one of the reasons why a lot of I know a lot of men that are married. They got married to their wives, not really that they love their wives. They got married. They got into the marriage because they want to. Because it's time and it's time for them to have children. It's not that, because most times they've been traumatized in the past. I remember having this conversation with my friend, and when I was having the conversation with him, he said that it's been difficult for him to stick to one woman. He's had several experiences of different, so he hasn't been able to stick to a relationship. So I asked him a question. I said,
"That's a very big trauma because you got a big trauma.
That's
something that is happening."
I asked him. I said, "How was the first girlfriend that you had?" And then he said that he loved this girl too much. And a lot of men start, because there is this saying. I mean, feel free to disagree with me if you're a listener. There is this saying that women don't love men. Yeah, that men do the loving, women don't. I mean, when a woman is in the relationship, she's either there for she's getting money or she needs the company. Women are really there for benefits, what they're getting. They're loyal to their feelings. They're not really there. I don't. This is quite a controversial statement, so please take it with a little pinch of salt. If I don't mean to
upset anyone. But no. The thing you have to understand is, I just want to get something about what you said about your friend. It might not be the trauma that he got. It might not be from his relationship.
Yeah,
it might be from the parents. For example, if a child, it's in the family, is just growing, that you're in an environment where parents always argue. They always argue a lot. They always fight a lot and all that. At the moment, maybe one of them is always abusive. I mean,
Mhm.
physically abusive, abusing the other person
Yeah.
all the time, and you're experiencing that
Mhm.
as a child growing up. It will leave a very lasting
Yeah, kill
trauma
your
inside of you. Do
self-confidence
you
and
understand?
yeah.
So if you get into a relationship, it's gonna affect you a
Yeah.
lot. Two, there's this if you're growing up,
Mhm.
then the parents
Mhm.
they separated
Yeah.
or they divorced.
Mhm.
Then you have to stay with now a
Mhm.
single mother, a single
Mhm.
dad, or something
Mhm.
like that. You might love your dad or you might love your mom,
Mhm.
but because of that separation, you see some of the kids, they grew up and they say to you that
Yeah.
they will never stick with somebody, especially they give their heart to someone and the person
Yeah.
will just like messed up with their heart and leave. So they're afraid
I don't
to
know
keep
how
that.
true this statement is, but I mean, feel free to share your thoughts. I've heard that children raised by single mothers
Mhm.
find it hard, especially women, find it hard to love their partners the moment they grow up. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard it a lot of
I've
times. Yeah.
I've heard that as well.
Mhm.
The school of thoughts. There are some people that they
Mhm.
behave. What the only thing you have to understand, the experience you have with someone,
Mm.
that's what you're gonna put down
That's
in the
on to the
paper.
children. Yeah.
That's what you're gonna write down.
Mm.
Some of the people, maybe if you meet someone that was raised by a single parent,
Mhm.
some of them are lovely.
Yeah.
Some of them,
Jay-Z was raised by a mom that was in a same-sex
I wasn't.
relationship.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. I wasn't even talking about celebrities.
Yeah.
Some of the celebrities, because they're celebrities, they
Mhm.
can portray
Yeah, but he's
the
been
good.
married for
No,
for donkey
I
years.
understand, but you don't know what happens in the closed doors
Yeah,
because
but
they're
at least,
celebrities.
at least he managed to keep his relationships. Cause
I understand that. But
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that generally, when sometimes there are some people that
Mhm.
you meet,
Mhm.
they are just like lovely people.
Mhm.
The experiences that they had, the trauma they had when they
Yeah.
was growing up.
Mhm.
Some of them,
They change. Yeah, turned
they
it for
managed
good.
to handle it
Mhm.
and channel it
Yeah.
to
To
positive
positive. Yeah.
into their life. But
Probably,
some people,
the essence of this podcast
yeah,
today. I mean, a lot of the listeners that will be listening today would go home or would go back to live their normal lives. Huge. The aim of this podcast today is, I mean, as we're talking, a lot of people will be discovering certain hidden traumas that they have in their lives, and as we're talking, we're definitely going to talk a little bit more today on how to navigate and how to kill this secret monster. And as we're talking, just like the last speaker said a few things. So as we're talking and rubbing minds together, a lot of people are going to heal today after listening to us,
yeah.
and which I think, yeah,
No. When you talk about relation, because mostly what we're talking about is relationship
relation trauma,
trauma.
yeah.
If you remember, I said to you that some people might not know that they have trauma, and if you don't know that you have trauma, how are you going to get healed?
Yeah, all the things.
For example, because when you start avoiding intimacy, there's some people,
Yeah, they have, yeah,
all the time they find it difficult to be intimate
yeah,
with whoever they're in relationship with.
yeah,
You can see that before some guys, maybe some ladies, gonna be like, before they have that intimate
yeah,
with
with
other
their
person,
man,
it might
yeah,
take them a
yeah,
long time
yeah,
because they find it difficult to
yeah,
have intimate
yeah,
with someone because of what they have trauma. They have that emotional closeness. They
yeah,
have that lack emotional. They don't want to get close emotionally
yeah,
because they're afraid
yeah,
someone breaking their heart.
yeah,
They're afraid of someone taking advantage of them by
mm,
maybe sleeping with them for the first time and then they will not see the person anymore.
yeah,
So they're afraid. So they see that they're having that they just want, they don't
mm,
want to, they're avoiding it.
mm.
Anything that will bring you closer to them to have that
Yeah, to
intimate.
that, yeah, to get to that,
Yeah, they're avoiding it.
and then
That's a trauma.
I was having a conversation with this my guy when I visited his resident in Africa when I visited Nigeria. So I asked him why because he told me about previous relationships that he has been in.
Mm.
So he told me about the first one that tore him into pieces. So he was telling me that the moment he gets into a relationship with a person, the moment he starts getting close to
Yeah.
falling in love, he
He just
cuts. Yeah,
just vanishes straight
yeah,
away.
because he doesn't want to. Yeah, and I also have. Yeah, it was. We were having like an evening table talk, and then his cousin there lost his brother, his last youngest brother. And because of the pain that he went through in that experience, he said he doesn't want anything that would bring any pain similar to that.
Yeah,
So
to that.
he blocked off anything called love.
Yeah.
So it's just a tricky thing. And the bad sides of this relationship trauma is that sometimes these people that have been traumatized can meet a kind person and then turn that person to a beast. Because then if you're a nice person and then you meet a girl, if you're a nice guy and you meet a girl that has been abused by men in the past, and because she's been abused by men in the past, she's just transferring
the aggression.
Yeah, she just. I remember there was this wedding I attended last year. The couple, they're no longer together. The lady used to tell me about how the kind of bad heavy words the man was using against using in her. So sometimes I was asking, I was like, "Have you met this man before?" She said, "No." So, I mean, before you guys got married, did you guys have anything in the past? She said, no. But then why is this man talking to you like you killed his mom? Yeah, just took it personal. Passing, previous aggression. And sometimes the question that the last guy asked, he said,
I think it was a lady that asked the question.
Yeah. Oh, a lady, yeah. One of the problems is that sometimes you don't really know that you're traumatized, and you don't really know that some of the things you're doing is coming from a place of trauma, and you don't really know.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the essence of this podcast. We're revealing certain things. You talked this evening fear, anxiety, and sometimes in addition to that, I mean, sometimes when a lady is getting withdrawn to her husband, and I met this girl at work several years back, and then I just discovered how closed off she is towards men. And when I see her interact with women, she's very open. But then when it comes to interacting with men, she's very, very closed off. So, and it just stems from a history she has had in the past. And the thing is that when people don't really take time to attack this monster, it tends to define your experience in it.
Yeah, that's what they call it. That's why it's called trauma. It's called trauma because it has that tendency of having that. They have that lasting effect.
Lasting effect.
It has lasting effect on the individual. It doesn't matter if it's a girl, it doesn't matter a woman or a man or something. It's just an individual. It happens to men too.
And sometimes, it lasts a lifetime.
A long time. You understand? But what I understand is that mostly men, their trauma, the way some of them they deal with their trauma is they use it. For example, if when your first love, probably in secondary school or maybe first time university, you fall in love with a lady and all that, and at the end of the day, she broke your heart because it's normal, it's there to happen. But how you handle that heartbreak will determines how you handle all your relationships. Most people don't really get that. You understand? Some people, because they met this lovely lady, they fall in love with the girl, and she broke their heart. Now they get angry. They don't want to give any other person any chance.
And then
you see that they use that against every woman. They start like trying to.
A lot of them are closed off, and
straight on that. So that's the way they deal with their trauma, by sleeping with every other
different
kind. You understand, which is not right, because they don't know that they have a trauma. And because of that, the experience they have now, they're using that now not to give anybody a chance to do something that again to happen to them
to hurt them,
again, something like that.
I was reading a few things on Twitter, and this guy he's Nigerian. He said only fool falls in love, and he's in a relationship. And there was this popular song, last, now everybody chop breakfast, and then some of the things that we kind of celebrate. Coming from a place of trauma, because then when
a lot of
people,
them
when people just believe that every relationship is gonna end in breakfast,
that's the way
and then people, I'm trying to look at the mindset of someone that has this covering that every relationship is gonna end in breakfast. Trying to see how they deal with their future relationships.
No, because they already you have that mindset.
Yeah, you have that underlining, it's gonna end and break up. Yeah.
So as you get into a relationship, you're already inside your
prepared.
Prepared that
it has an expiry date.
It has expiry date. I'm just getting in and getting
enjoy, have fun. Yeah.
That's it. I just get in
and get out. Yeah.
Understand? Sometimes now when they get in, they find out maybe the girl, she's different. She's different. But at the back of their mind, they still, they're not sure.
I've seen.
That's why you see some of them they stay long a little bit, but because they are not committed. They still have that. You see that the fault might come out from them.
Definitely gonna come out from them. Obviously,
from there, then the relationship gonna.
Because
they need to deal with that trauma.
I was reading a few stories this morning of this guy that he was asking a forum. The guy was talking about, I went into this relationship to just have fun, but then I noticed that this girl is a nice girl, and he was confused. I said, what am I going to do? I just noticed that this girl is a nice girl. I didn't have plan of staying in this relationship. And I decided a lot of men that go into relationships don't really have. And sometimes when you've met a person and then the person tells you, let's see how it goes. You tell your partner, or you ask the person that is supposed to be your partner, what do you see us? And then they tell you, let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
This is coming from a place. Yeah.
They are still they are not sure. They're not committed. They are just like, they just want to test the waters.
Yes.
Once they test the waters, they see how it goes and all that. How can you get into a relationship with that kind of person?
Yeah,
it's like you're going to war with someone that's telling you that, man, listen, you have to take care of yourself. You were supposed to take. I have to watch your back. You need to watch my back.
And sometimes,
but it doesn't work like that. Most of them, because they have that trauma, they have that fear, they have that anxiety inside of them. Because of that, you see that they're not. They don't want to commit in.
It becomes difficult for them to actually love the person that they're with.
Guys, I think Johnson. I think Johnson said the best way to handle trauma is just to work on your emotions and practice self-care. Okay. If you like what you were just saying now, we have not even touched there about healing, how to heal from trauma, because that's the most important thing that people have to if they didn't get anything from this podcast, they should get something from there.
I think
how to heal, because now that you know that you have a trauma, about all these things we've been talking about, anxiety, fear, getting into that relationship, trying to protect your emotions and all that. You don't want to have any heartbreak. You just want to be you want to be you want to be a player. You understand what I mean? And all that because of the experiences that you had. All of this is just trauma. Okay, it's a trauma, but how can you heal? Because no matter what, if you don't heal, you're gonna lose a good one.
And to be honest with you, it's a
statement. You lose the good ones.
I think a lot of men have lost their.
You're going to lose. You're going to lose a good. I mean, the good one when they come around. You use that your attitude. You use that your behavior
them out,
and chase them away, and then you'll be like.
And one thing I discovered about love is that when you meet a good person and hurt them and they go, sometimes you end up not meeting again for life,
and which is not right, because
it's a beautiful thing. I mean, everyone needs to experience it at least. Everyone needs to at least experience. I think I wanted to drop a comment.
Send your questions. Send your questions in the chat.
I've been reading all your comments.
Send your questions in the chat. Okay. All right. So the thing, how can you heal?
Mm-hmm.
In what ways can you heal? Because that's the most important thing. Now, that's the most important section,
Not everyone can afford a
segment.
therapist.
Yeah,
So then,
is the way you're gonna heal. Because if you don't know how to heal from a trauma, you will see that you will affect every area of your life, especially when it comes to relationship. You understand that you cannot keep a relationship.
it becomes
It
difficult.
becomes difficult to keep a relationship, which is very, very bad. You understand what I mean? So because like this guy one day was it what Johnson what he said here, he said you need to practice self-care, how to take I mean how to handle your emotions. If you can handle your emotions, take care of yourself and all that. You need to practice self-care. But like you said, you need to seek professional help. But it's not everybody that has that money that can afford the money to go for therapy or go for counseling or all that. You understand? But I don't know.
You know, in addition to what Mr. Johnson has said this evening, I think one of the things that self-care addresses is realizing that you have this monster inside you and is going to limit you. So when you realize, because a lot of people are walking placards that walking humans with monsters that carry monsters without knowing that they have monsters inside them. So knowing that, realizing that someone has hurt you, but then it doesn't have to define your journey in life.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have to define. I mean, you can actually meet good people. So when we talk about self-love, is realizing that I experienced this in the past, and because eh, sometimes when because I remember the last experience I had with this manager, I mean, she felt that she was a problem. The thing about victims of trauma is that sometimes you begin to blame yourself.
Yeah.
So I think one of the steps to healing is telling yourself that even though this happened, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
I was a good person in this relationship. I wasn't the cause of it. I was only a victim.
Yeah.
And it is not going to define me. Now, if you've had experience of men cheating on you and that, because I've heard several stories of certain women that because nothing kills self-esteem than being cheated on. Now, if you've been cheated on as a woman, they start asking themselves if they were not beautiful enough or if their sex game wasn't good enough. I was reading this story on a popular blog of this lady that cheated with a married man. She said that the married man was on her case. The married man was going after. They attend the same church, so the married man was on her case till they finally had intimate moment. And after the intimate moment, the married man blocked her. So one man dropped in the comments that it looks like your game in the bedroom is whack. So sometimes if you've experienced that, and it is more common in today's culture where intimate moments is cheap.
And then she like she start blaming herself.
Blaming herself and thinking that she's the cause of the whole thing.
What I would say on that is that what you have to do in order for you to heal, to move forward, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. Forgiveness is not only when you forgive someone else.
Yeah.
You need to forgive yourself. Like have a little moment.
Yeah.
Think about, reflect on your life. If you watch out, some people they normally have they call maybe they have a yoga or they have
yoga sessions.
They have sometimes they just stay on their own to reflect on themselves and all that. Then do just have that self-reflection. Think about how your life is.
Yeah, and
your childhood experiences. What is it that is happening? What brought this?
What brought this about?
Yeah. Once you notice what brought that, it might be like you say, it might be low self-esteem.
Yeah, low. Yeah.
It might be like you don't have that confidence in yourself anymore. It might be that you're trying so hard to please people, which you're not supposed to do. Do you understand what I mean? So you know that once you notice where the problem is, now when you know where to handle, you know what to deal with.
Yeah.
But if you cannot find out what the problem is, what are you going to deal?
Yeah.
That is the problem. So once you find that, then forgive yourself. Once you forgive yourself now, then
let go.
Let go.
Yeah.
That's when you start
Release the
practicing
energy,
this self-care and all that. You start like, find ways now to have exercises or healthy eating, adequate rest. Just do
Some
things to
ladies do BBL after that.
That's just
My friend did a BBL. The moment I think that was I was having a conversation with her. I think that's her own way, and I did applaud her for that. And she had to go to Turkey to do a BBL the moment her marriage came to an end. I mean, if that's her own way of self-love.
Yes, just self-love, self-care. She wanted like
I mean, if that's your own way of self-love, I mean, if you want to do BBL, then I mean, I'm not advising you to do BBL, but then anyhow, you can heal yourself and
let me read out this comment. I think Grace Lyons, she sent another comment again. Let me try and see that. She said, personally, I feel healing is a choice. If you make up your mind to heal, then the process is going to be easy. But if your heart is centered on the ugly experience, then healing will definitely prove to be hard. That's what she's trying to say, is that once, like what I said earlier, once you realize that you have an issue, you have a problem, that you notice where the problem is now, the trauma, where it comes from, then that's where you see that you know what to handle. Then you know where to focus, where to work on. Do you understand what I mean? So that is I think that's why she's pointing, because that she's saying that is a choice. That healing is a choice.
And I think people need to realize that. I mean, sometimes take that time to heal. Sometimes it could take you 2 years. You just ended a relationship. Yeah, take time to heal. If not, you would attract the same
but you have
bullshit.
You have to know. If you have to first of all know that you need to heal from something. Okay, so you give yourself time.
Yeah, time to actually sometimes, because some people try to head into another relationship the moment this relationship came to an end. They're already dating, trying to get someone else. Some people feel that, I mean, there is this coping mechanism that I discovered in today's generation where people have the moment someone has broken their heart and the relationship has come to an end, they start looking for someone they would sleep with as a way of trying to cope with that. Then that coping mechanism tend to cause more harm.
Because
it's
gonna hurt you.
Yeah, the
more.
The
process. Because you might not enjoy that process. Then you see that you're hurting yourself more.
And you know the case of I was having a heart-to-heart conversation with this guy that got infected with HIV is not a bad. I'm just bringing it up just as a story. Is not as deadly. Is not. I mean, to anyone that could have been infected, is not it's not a death sentence, and it's not as bad as people paint it. But then let's look at the fact that not everyone would want to be infected. Now, this guy got infected by someone he was dating, a girl he was dating, and he was faithful in the relationship. So the guy became traumatized that he made a decision to pass this thing around. And I've heard this story more than once of different people that said, "Oh, someone gave me this disease. I'm gonna give it to a lot of people." And sometimes it could be a way of people dealing with trauma. Someone broke my heart. I'm gonna break. I saw this post on Instagram. The girl said, "Someone broke my heart. I'm either going to be breaking someone else's heart, or I'm going to be the reason someone is wrong." A lot of ladies have that.
So they just go
on heartbreak spree.
They go rampage.
Yeah,
I understand that, but that's what you have to understand is that healing from trauma. Everyone has different ways they deal with healing. Okay,
do you think there are good ways and bad ways?
No, it's not that. People, they have ways. They have different ways. The way I will heal from any wound or from anything might be different from yours.
Yeah,
you understand? There are some people that the way they handle issues or the way they deal with things, they will say to you, okay, they have a journal. They have a journal.
Yeah.
They have a journal
Journaling,
where they write all the things down. They write everything down. They write all the experiences that they had with people. They write them down. then they read them out. They go through it again and again. Then they find out. Then they made some proclamations.
Yeah.
They prophesy some other things. They say a lot of things that they want to say about stuff, and they say to themselves, "It won't happen again." That's the way they deal.
That's how they let go of the energy.
That's the way they deal with that. But some other way, people might have different ways they can deal with trauma, because you have to find ways to deal with the trauma
ways
for you to move
let
forward.
Go
because at the end of the day,
yeah.
At the end of the day, what we normally talk about on this platform is all about to have a healthy relationship. Have a healthy relationship. At the end of the day, if you don't have a healthy relationship, that's not what we're doing here. So we're focusing on having that healthy relationship. So you need to deal with that trauma. You need to find ways to deal with that trauma. Do you understand what I'm saying? So once you deal with the trauma, then you start working on yourself. Build up your self-esteem.
It doesn't have to define you.
Do you understand what I mean? So that once you meet someone, the person will meet the best part
version,
the best part of your life, so that you can't just say
you
that,
match the energy.
Do you understand? You're waiting for someone to come and help you to heal. No, it doesn't work like that. I think that's what she was saying, that it's a choice. You need to heal. Once you heal, you portray yourself and keep the best part of you, so that when someone comes to meet you, they meet the best version of you.
And the thing about healing is that at the moment you've healed, you just become slightly selective of the people you want to let into your space.
It doesn't matter if it's selective or what. At the end of the day, it's your choice. You need to select.
Yeah.
That's one thing people don't understand.
I'm very selective now.
No.
Very selective.
No. You need to choose friends. You need to choose people you move around with. That's selection, isn't it? You need to choose people you move around. You can't just be anybody that you just see called friends. That's what kids they do when they're primary school. Anybody they meet, that's my friend. What they're referring is their classmate. That's my friend. Everybody, any of their classmates they see is my friend.
Is their friend,
understand? Because they don't know what
true definition
of friendship. You understand? So you need to choose. You need to be choosy. Choose the kind of lifestyle you want to live. Choose the kind of friends you move around with. Select the kind of people you move around with. That's how it's supposed to be. So once you have the best version of yourself, it's your right to choose the best partner that you want.
You person you want to stay with.
Choose the best partner that you know that have the same aligned objective
as you,
aligned goals, aligned the same. I mean, you have the same priorities. Both of you have the same, you know what I mean? You go in the same place.
The same direction,
so both of you, it's going to be easier for you. But if you don't choose, you see that they're healing. You're going to go back again.
Sometimes you need to ask people about their past. I think people don't really talk about these a lot. I mean, when you meet a person, sometimes during conversation, you ask them about their past experiences. I do see this common popular ladies say, "Let my past be my past," but then when you get into the relationship and you discover the kind of things she's doing, and sometimes how protective and a lot of ladies have been hurt in the past, and sometimes when you talk about people,
it's not the same. It's not ladies. Guys, the same. Many people have that tendency of hiding their past, unless you ask them. And that's the reason why it's good to ask.
It's good to ask sometimes.
Ask, find out.
So you know the demons that someone is dealing with, and you know if you can carry that demon. I mean, if you can't handle the demon, you leave. I mean, because people just go with this mindset. Oh, I'm going to change this person. I'm going to change this person. That's a very big mistake. It just doesn't happen.
That's a very big mistake.
And then you break up after. Because the same thing you ignore in the beginning of the relationship is just gonna show itself again.
All right, guys. This is like I said, we're just talking about how to deal with relationship trauma. All about relationship trauma. Okay, and we have already diving into different aspects of this topic, and I don't know what I would say is that trauma is I just don't want to put it down. Trauma is something that you can't run away from. Okay? Everyone has that
Just have to
experience.
face it.
They
Yeah.
have an experience of trauma. If it doesn't come from relationship, it might come from your family. It might come from
And some African parents as well.
a lot.
Some
It might-
African parents traumatize their children.
No, I don't want to go there. It's gonna take us 2 days to discuss.
Probably we'll have to talk about that in the next episode. Then a lot of children that were raised by African parents, what they call discipline. What they call discipline is actually abuse, and then
it's just like labeling trauma. People,
Yeah.
it's gonna take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, so trauma can come from anywhere, at workplace, even within your, your friend circle,
Friend circle,
your circles, people you move around with, even, I don't know. It's not only in relationship, but the issue is that how you handle it. Then find out
defines
defines
who
how
you
you move
are.
forward and all that. So you need to find a way to heal. You need to find a way to work on yourself. You need to find a way to, be the right person, so that whoever you're in a relationship with, or whoever that comes close to you, even at workplace, whoever that meets you, will meet
a clean person, a huge person.
You understand? They meet you professionally. They meet you to be, your personality is going to be 100%, not a notch. You understand? So because because many people have missed their chances, they miss their breakthrough just because of their character, because of trauma. You understand? Because they're carrying trauma around. Someone just stopped them. I asked them, "How are you? How was you? I've seen you around."
I think a lot of people in the UK are traumatized, especially London. Yeah,
you understand what I mean? So,
traumatized about, oh God.
Then you find out that the other person will just maybe it's someone that God send your way to just help you out, and then because of your traumatic attitude on behavior.
The default setting of those that live in London is sadness.
So it's just it is affected you, and you see that you lose that person that wanted to help you, someone that wants to support you. You see that that's crazy. It's everywhere. You see some people, you like try to help them out.
Yeah,
you bring them into your house, into your home,
and then
to accommodate them for a while. You find out that they're trauma. They carried everything they come in, and then in your own house, they try to mess you up.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? So
steal and
everything, messed everything. Because of what? They don't know that they have that trauma. It's not only in relationship, but what we're talking about is how to deal it in your relationship. Understand? So try to find out, have that reflection, have your own, how would they call it? Your
me time.
Your your me time.
Your me
the
time. Time for yourself.
Time you just have to say, think about it. Think about your life. Think about your childhood experiences, everything. Then know where the problem is. And then if someone around you is telling you, maybe a relationship, maybe your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or wife is telling you that I think you have issues, it does not mean that they are causing you or they are telling you bad things. Just listen, find out why. Why do you say that? Let them explain. They might tell you things that you didn't even
know about yourself.
You didn't notice about yourself. Do you understand what I mean? Then you see that those characters it's been going on, but they're afraid
to tell you.
But once they tell you, listen. Let them elaborate. Let them explain to you why they said that. Then, if it's something that you notice that it be happening to you, then work on it. Do you understand what I mean? Work, because someone
defensive.
It's not like trying to like shrug it off and what are you talking about? On insulting me.
Start an argument.
You don't understand. So, but listen to them. Maybe you can work on yourself and then see that you can deal with that, because all of that is trauma. All of that.
It doesn't have to define you. You can have a beautiful life after you've been traumatized. It doesn't have to define your journey. It doesn't have to. You can attract good men after you've been cheated. You can, after going through the healing process, you might have dated 10 fuckboys in the past, but then meet a perfect gentleman after you've gone through the healing.
So once you go healing, once you heal, because at the end of the day, if you're not healed,
that's this neighbor of ours, back in the days. She left her parents when she was young, and she became a prostitute to make money, because she left home quite a very long period of time. Then she got married, and we were so happy that see this girl that was hustling. Now she found a husband, whereas certain ladies that kept themselves haven't seen men.
Mm.
So I mean, the marriage didn't last. They had 2 children together. Marriage didn't last, came to an end. She got married to another man, came to an end, got married to the third man. I think they're still, I think she's still together with that one, but then it's still is 50-50. You just notice that sometimes the kind of men she's been attracting, yeah, the kind of men she's been attracting, yeah, you know, the issue of trauma, sometimes we could talk down on it, but then it could determine, yeah, the kind of people you attract, the kind of people you meet in the future, because this is the kind of energy that you're giving out, without knowing.
Yeah, without knowing. Yeah,
Mm,
it's a very, very big issue. You understand? So that's the reason why we want to discuss,
mm,
talked about it tonight also. Okay, but I think moving forward, healing. I say that healing from relationship trauma is a process.
yeah,
It's a gradual
no matter
process.
how long
No
it takes,
matter
yeah, take time.
once you notice that you
Mm-hmm,
have that issue and you need to like heal,
mm-hmm,
give yourself time. Surround yourself with good people.
mm-hmm.
Surround yourself with people that will encourage you, people that will not judge you, because that's the issue. Because
Sometimes
if you
you know,
don't,
sometimes if you don't, if you find it difficult to meet people that you can, sometimes listening to talk shows like this, because then we're in the same room with all our viewers,
yeah,
because then we're all rubbing minds together, they're listening to us and they're sending their comments to us, and we're reasoning, and then we're exchanging ideas together. So listening to shows like this is a way, it's kind of a self-care,
mm.
is yeah, it's a part of self-care as well.
It's
So then
a sort of therapy.
yeah,
Well, it's free therapy.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, and then we're talking several
yeah,
issues, and
yeah.
then so I know a lot of people are, even those
Mm,
that's going to work afterwards. A
yeah.
lot of people are going to see themselves in some of the things that we've discussed today, and rubbing minds with us by listening to videos like this. Sometimes you get to play it over and over and
Mm,
really listening to
yeah,
certain things that we've talked about.
yeah.
I mean, listening and rubbing minds with shows like this is still a part of the sports system that you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But it takes it's a
Hmm.
gradual process,
Hmm.
and then once you realize the impact
Mm.
that trauma has really
Mhm.
done to you and
Yeah.
in your relationship, you
Mhm.
realize that, and then try to find ways to
Mhm.
navigate
Yeah.
from your present
Yeah.
relationship. So because if you don't find ways to like handle it, like what you said, is becoming a pattern.
It becomes a
You
pattern.
start
Yeah.
losing people.
Yeah.
And once it happen first, second time,
Yeah.
you see that you cannot keep a relationship, and which
Yeah.
is not, it's not good. Understand? So, but I think once you heal and take that
Yeah. You
process,
get a good
it's
person.
it's
Yeah.
gonna become the best version of yourself
Mm.
and all that. So that's what I'm going to talk about. That's where we probably might even stop
Yeah.
this
This
evening. And
evening.
then
Yeah.
and most of you
It's
that
been
will
a
stay with us
productive
to this
evening.
time,
Yeah.
most of you that stay with us to this time, I really appreciate. And thank
Viewers, you had
someone who is
amazing.
coming.
Yeah.
I come in this evening, and then the issue is that I don't know if you guys, anyone still have you still have any questions about what we discussed? Is there, you still have questions?
Probably.
Any questions, you can just put a question now on the comment. Okay, if you still have any questions, just give you time now to put in questions that we
You
can handle
can.
it.
You can think through if you come up with a question later on, just
Any question, you put it on the
probably
comment section then on something like that. Okay, because
text through the line.
also yeah, most of you that is just joining us today, if maybe it's the first time you're coming across one, or okay, I know that probably normally we're supposed to have that call to action, call you guys to, like, you know, to subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook. You understand? Also, I just want to like use the opportunity as well to let you guys know that we have a gentle and strong personality in our midst that will be like, you know, hopefully be coming around to stay with us, which I know that tonight, if you watch, there's a very big aura. You can see that aura just full everywhere. You understand? Is the way he was just following with the topic, the flowing with what we're discussing this evening. You understand? So I'm talking now, I'm just talking about the gospel, if you understand. So hopefully It's gonna be here all the time, and also the topics or whatever we're gonna be discussing. Most times we would like you to send your question so
Yeah,
that
get
we
your
can like
questions prepared.
get
Yeah,
question
look
prepared that
forward.
we
Yeah,
can
I love
like
hearing what you guys have.
understand. We can handle that, and then also if you have your contributions or something like you want to like you have your views or your thoughts, you can also call us. The number is always on the screen there, +44 744 982 3876. It's a WhatsApp number. You can put it on your phone, just save it there so that you can just anytime you just call. You understand? So in conclusion, I don't know what you would think you're gonna say about
Yeah,
what we just
the
talk
thing
about.
about trauma is if you don't deal with it, it's gonna deal with you.
That is it.
Yeah, if you don't deal with it, it's gonna
Mm.
deal with you. And yeah, in terms of getting jobs, business deals, marriage, although this evening we talked about relationship. Yeah, if you don't deal with it, and love is such a beautiful thing. I mean, I know a lot of ladies that still go have. That's just my friend. He had, yeah, he the girl that he dated in the past is currently married.
Okay.
So the girl still messages him to say, can we meet in this? Yeah, can we meet here and there? Because I mean, the experience I had with you, my husband, isn't matching up to that. So it just gets to talk about
So she
how,
has not got over him at
yeah,
all.
she's
She's
not
still
over,
no,
yeah,
no.
the guy. So it's just sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's a this evening's topic is it calls for a moment of sober reflection to see, are there actions you've taken that is coming from an experience you've had in the past,
Yeah. They're bringing
and
up that
yeah, that has formed the lens
Mm.
through which you see things.
see things. Yeah, the ways you
Yeah,
see trauma and all that.
the kind of people that you come
Yeah.
across, in contact with, and yeah, the kind of things that, yeah, I do know in my personal life there were certain bad experiences that had that repeated themselves consistently. That had till I had that period of self,
Mm.
yeah, that self moment where I had to ask certain questions as to why this thing keeps happening sometimes from different people.
Yeah.
So I mean, the issue of trauma, dealing with trauma, is
Mm.
quite a deep one, and hopefully we may have to go over. I mean, a few
Yeah.
bits and pieces of it, yeah, in the
Yeah,
future.
it's a long, it's just
It's
pretty
quite,
long
yeah.
discussion, and I think we went into a deep, there's
I think
different
somebody's got a
segment.
comment,
You
yeah.
understand? I think all right. I think what did she say? Baseline. So is it possible to heal from multiple constant trauma? Yes.
Yes, it is, and if you can elaborate on,
Yeah,
yes,
it's a multiple trauma. Multiple. What she meant? I think what she.
from
I'm just
different
putting.
people,
If I'm
yeah.
the one asking the question, what she meant is that multiple trauma. You might have a childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a childhood trauma. You might have a maybe work experience trauma. You might also have a relationship trauma. All of them are just multiple. It's just accumulated, and you see that most times people mentally affect their mental health.
Yeah.
Affect their mental health. They become hostile to people.
Yeah.
They become, I don't know.
I remember I was on the bus the other day, and I remember I was on the bus. Is an experience I had last 2 years on the bus going to my house, and then this lady that was with her daughter looked at me and said I was staring at her daughter. The girl was not to 3 years old, and she was aggressive. I don't know this lady. I don't know who she was. I've not spoken to her. I've not met her before. But then she charged towards me and said that I was looking at her daughter in a sexual way, that I was a pedophile. Now, it took a lot of self-control for me not to have leashed on
just to
her, because
control.
I don't know who she was. So, and then if you look at that woman, and if you probably, if you ask her a few questions, you would know where that thing is coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, it must have been from a past experience. Yeah, and like she's asking, can someone heal from multiple traumas in the past?
Yeah.
And you were saying,
Yeah.
I mean, you can have traumas from family, traumas from past experience, traumas from work, and
all together.
yeah,
See that
it can just turn you
face.
into, yeah,
It's still
a
like
dumpster. Yeah.
It's not really a dumpster. It can be. See that you become someone that you avoiding people.
You're mean.
You become, some people might say that you're mean, that your character is becoming something that aggressive. Especially white people, they say that you're aggressive because you're trying to create a wall. You don't want anyone to penetrate inside that because you're protecting your personal space and all that.
Like I mean,
all that.
before
So,
this is a very important
yeah.
story I want to share again. My neighbor downstairs, I mean, I live upstairs, they live downstairs. Um, she has 2 children. When we moved in, her husband wasn't living with her. But then I noticed that the first son was, if he sees people, he doesn't say hello, hi. He behaves like a ghost. Like if he sees you in the public, he doesn't behave as if he knows who you are. He behaves like a total stranger. And then when I was asking my other neighbor questions about that, I said, why is this guy behaving this way? And they said that he witnessed what the dad did to, because the dad was very physically abusive to the mom.
Okay.
So he witnessed all of that and it traumatized him from childhood. The dad left when he was quite young. So the dad left when he was 4 years old, and he saw that as a 4-year-old boy. So he was 23. They've moved, the boy has moved now. It kind of gave him a bad relation. He doesn't talk to anyone. He had a terrible relationship with the mom. He's moved now. They've gone out to buy their own property. They don't visit the mom. So it turned him from a 4-year-old normal human being to a 23-year-old beast due to the traumatic experience that he had from watching the dad physically assault the mom. So it's this thing about trauma is that sometimes I was asking the mom, I said, how is this guy going to cope with marrying? Because this guy is messed up for life. And yeah, he's just so, he doesn't talk to anyone. Yeah, he doesn't have friends. He just stays to himself. So you just, you could see where that guy's future is going.
It's kind of hard. It's gonna be very hard though. But that's the one I was telling you. You can get trauma from parents. Experiences that you witness, seeing your parents behaving in a certain way. But healing from what she was asking, healing from different multiple trauma. It's all about once you, okay. I think she tried to, like what you said, she tried to elaborate it more. What did she say here? Okay, multiple is a sense that why trying to heal from one another. Okay, one another set in and like constantly what is that's what it's the same.
Okay, like you're having
So what
constant
is the best way to
traumas in
deal?
and
Yeah,
out.
that's what, like, because it's multiple. It might be like a workplace or relationship at home or all of that. It's like everything is coming at the same time. And some it looks as if maybe in Christendom, some of them they say that you having a what they call it normally. You have
like a demon.
No. You having attack, something like you having an attack or something.
Yeah,
you having.
this is
Do you understand?
this is my advice.
You understand? But the issue is that once you have you notice that you having multiple attack. Most times it might not be that you have a multiple attack, but just because your mindset is that you're having that trauma. A lot of them are coming because you're dealing with one. You've not handled your emotions, you've not controlled your emotions. You see that because of the way you see that one trauma that you have, maybe your relationship, you see that some people, they have an argument at home, they will take it to work. So when they take it to work, they will have bad day.
Full bad day, yeah.
They have full bad day at work. That means you see that the way maybe they will talk to their colleague, that person might not like it. And then the other one will do what? Retaliate immediately.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? Then they might say that is also the same issue, trauma coming then, that their colleagues, they don't like them or something like that. But without knowing that they could have handled themselves properly before coming to work. So it's like that, so you have to like handle it.
In addition to what you've just said, one of the things that you can do to, as a person that is having multiple traumas, just take a lot of me time to kind of do a lot of self-reflection and just do a lot of energy release where you release a lot of negative energy. Because then if you've had multiple traumas happen over and over and over and over, take some time at the end of the day, do a lot of journaling, write out what has happened. Because then when you write out things, you release energy.
Yeah.
You just relieve that negativity, so it doesn't cloud and compound inside you.
That's it. I think that's what we're going to stop this evening.
It's been a productive
It's
evening.
been a
Yeah,
long
amazing.
evening.
Yeah.
And then I just want to say thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
Some of you that stay with us today.
Thanks.
To stay with us to this time. And then also, what's the name? Graceline. I'll say thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your comments and contribution.
The comment and the questions. I think maybe we I don't know. The answers we gave to you, I hope, hopefully, that is what you're expecting from us or something. Understand if we didn't get it properly as well, maybe you might as well answer that out later on the comment section. You understand? So, also, guys, if you have not followed us or subscribe to YouTube channel, one on YouTube, one on Facebook, please do so. Also, please don't forget to share this program so that some of your friends and loved ones can also listen.
If you need to listen to it again, feel free to bookmark and come back and watch, because we touched on a lot of things. So feel free to watch this video a couple of times. Yeah, feel free to watch it over and over again so you don't miss out on some of the important things that we discussed.
Yeah. And also Johnson that called, thank you for the call.
Thanks for the call.
Okay. And we will see you guys next Friday.
Beautiful. Have an amazing weekend.
If there's any topic that you feel that you want us to deal with, you can just send it to on the WhatsApp there, okay? +447449823876. Just send a message on the WhatsApp. Please, can you look into this topic for us? Then we'll discuss
talk about it.
Yeah, we're gonna discuss it the same way we're just doing tonight. On that note, we'll say thank you, and then
thank you. Thanks, guys.
I'll see you guys next week Friday.
Yeah, thank you.
You've got Taris. Okay. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless.
Thank you.